What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Capping at the Bay, UFC exclusive. Today, I will be covering UFC 297's main event, the UFC middleweight title between Dricus du Plessis and the champion Sean Strickland. Of course, there was a lot of hype going into this fight and a lot of controversy on the outcome of the fight. I will be covering everything, but before I do that, make sure you guys like and subscribe on both Spotify and YouTube, and make sure to follow us on Instagram at Capping at the Bay. Now, going into this fight, nobody knew who exactly Dricus du Plessis was. He had a few UFC fights, and then out of nowhere, he surprised everybody by beating Robert Whitaker, who was number two in the middleweight division, and finished him in round two by TKO. So after that fight, I was there in Vegas, and Adesanya just felt like this was the next guy for the title, and got in there and put a lot of hype into a potential title fight between him and du Plessis. However, Strickland surprised everybody by beating Adesanya for the belt and just completely dominating throughout the fight. I believe all three judges had it 49-46 for Strickland to win the title. So then it was a new matchup between these two guys. Du Plessis, he he's known for his finishes. In his 22 fights, only one fight has gone to the distance. 19 of 21 fights that he won were by finish. 9 KO TKO wins and 10 submission wins. This was his first fight to ever go into extra rounds. That's round 4 and 5. Whereas Sean Strickland, in his last 7 fights, 5 of them went to the distance after 5 rounds. So he's a main eventer. He's known for his cardio. Everybody thought that he was going to win just because of that stat. You know, du Plessis, we would think in rounds 4 and 5, he wasn't going to have that kind of cardio. He's going to be worn out. His punches were not going to, damage Strickland as much. We would definitely see Strickland winning this by, KO, TKO in the later rounds, or just get it done by a decision. Let's take a look at the significant strike stats. Of course, this went to 5 rounds. I have the other significant strike stats on my phone, but these are significant strikes per round. On the left is Strickland, and on the right is du Plessis. Of course, you see a big differential in the first round as Strickland got 34 and du Plessis got 18. Of course, it was a toss up because even though du Plessis only landed 18 strikes, they were powerful strikes. Not to mention that he also landed a takedown late in the round, and a lot of people had him actually winning round one. Of course, you also see in round two, du Plessis won by significant strikes 26-22. But then rounds 3 through 5, Strickland was the better fighter just from significant strikes. Now, I had it round one going to Strickland just because of, more action. But du Plessis, even though he only won round two just by the stat, like I said, I would rather have uh, jabs being thrown at my face than that one or two powerful right. And that's exactly what du Plessis was. He was looking to kill. He was looking for the finish. He did that in rounds 2, 3, and 4. So Strickland had 33 in round four, du Plessis at 29. And then Strickland had a bigger differential as he had 53 significant strikes and du Plessis had 35. However, whenever he threw these jabs, they were on his heels. He was not bringing the fight du Plessis. Instead, du Plessis was bringing the fight to him. We expected it to be a war. They delivered, but du Plessis just landed so many powerful strikes to the face. The judges saw that, and they gave the fight to du Plessis just because of action and damage. Overall, I truly believe majority of the judges had the right call. Two of them had it 48-47 in favor of Duplessis, whereas the other judge had it 48-47 for Strickland. Duplessis won the fight and also won the UFC middleweight title. Now, what is next for both fighters? Um, of course, we heard the hype for a possible Duplessis versus Adesanya. I actually wouldn't mind seeing this going back again in probably UFC 300. You know, they are still looking for the main event to happen for 300, and a rematch I would love to see. I also would love to see Duplessis versus Hamzat Shemaev. I'm pretty sure Shemaev was promised a title fight after beating Robert Whittaker, or I'm sorry, Kamaru Usman. That would definitely be a nice fight, especially for UFC 300. Sean Strickland, he was still right there with Duplessis, and I could definitely see a rematch for him, or I could definitely see a title, number one contender for the title, either Strickland or Strickland versus Shemaev, or just go ahead and do the title fight again. Um, until then, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on YouTube and Spotify for Capping at the Bay, and also follow us on Instagram at Capping at the Bay.